Hey guys, what is going on? It's your boy, the Mad Kiger here. Sorry about the dark room. I don't know what's going on with the lighting. It's quite dark. It's been raining today, and I can't exactly do this video downstairs because everyone is downstairs. But I wanted to give you guys a video at least today. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about Red Dead Redemption 2. I don't have a physical copy. I brought the game digital. So I could game share it with my friend, of course, so we can play the multiplayer when it comes out. And of course, it just stops me from ever, trading the game in. God forbid. The amount of times I've traded in games and then afterwards thought, why did I do that? I've traded in my WWE 2K19 and Warriors of Rock G4 not too long ago. And looking back, I sort of feel a little bit, should I have done that? So if you guys want... if you're like me and you're prone to selling your games quite easily, I would recommend buying your game digital just to be on the safe side, especially with the big games that are going to get lots of updates in the future and things like that. And I think a lot of people are quick to jump on a game's bandwagon straight away, which is why there's a lot of games that are being released nowadays, and I just look at them and I think, really, do I really want to get this game day one and follow the story behind this game and follow it all the way through and do that? Because at the same time, when the game comes out, if it doesn't meet the expectations that I had for it, I sort of feel a little bit stupid, and then I'll play the game, be underwhelmed by it, or play it and think, this really wasn't what I expected. Trade the game in, and then later on, like a month or two later, they update the game, completely change it, add new stuff in, make the game more playable, which some games have done. No Man's Sky is a fine example of a game that has been completely revitalized and brought back a lot of players. And I do like that about today's gaming in general, and how that works, and the updating process can really help the game's lifespan. But why am I giving you this pure thing that's probably got nothing to do with Red Dead? Well, it has a lot to do with Red Dead Redemption 2. It's because Red Dead Redemption, the original game, I remember a few years ago I did a review on it, and I remember having great memories of Red Dead Redemption 1. It was a fantastic game. It was amazing. It was the best cowboy game ever made for its time, and was quite, very popular back in its day, and still is today. People still play the original and like the original. Similar thing with GTA 4 and 5. Do you like the original, or do you prefer the newer one? But Red Dead Redemption 2 is kind of it's a rarity for me, because normally when games come out, I normally go, I'll see the game advertised, and then I'll go, I might get it day one, or I might just get it here or there. Red Dead Redemption 2 was the only game in the last few months, the few years, maybe like the last 5 years. Yeah, so Red Dead Redemption was it was the only game in the last, say, like 5-6 years that I really followed the story, followed all online, how the progress is going, when's it going to come out. When the first announcement was made, I pre-ordered it day one. I didn't actually get the game day one. I had a little bit of a problem there with the money. I had to wait a few days, but I got the game nonetheless. And I've got to tell you, 6, 7, 8 years of waiting has really paid off, because Rockstar, well done. You have done a fantastic job in creating what possibly might be the best game of this generation. That's not just my opinion. That is a lot of people's opinions. I know there's some things about it that people don't like, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But I just want to say that you really did me proud, Rockstar. You've never really made a bad game per se. Some of your games have been a little bit not as good as another one. Some people don't particularly like certain Rockstar games, but they like the other ones. But they've never really made a bad game per se. Most of their games have been functional and been pretty good. Some of the sort of weaker titles would probably be Manhunt 2, not a lot of people really brought that one back in the day. The Vice City and Liberty City stories of Grand Theft Auto, originally PSP games, but when they came out on the PlayStation 2, not many people really were interested in it. It was kind of not much big of a step up, but for the most part, Rockstar have made fantastic games, and of course, one of their biggest biggest things they're known for are open world games and trying to make their games more realistic. GTA 5 was a good step in the right direction, but the game doesn't feel like it doesn't feel immersive. It still feels like a Grand Theft Auto game, even with all the multiplayer updates, whether you play it or not. But in terms of a game that makes you sort of feel immersed in it, you can. But looking back on it, I look at GTA 5 compared to Red Dead Redemption 2, and I just go, you know what, Red Dead has so much more to offer in terms of just how involved the game is. And GTA 5 is a fantastic game, don't get me wrong. It's an awesome game, one of the best open world games of this generation as well. But Red Dead Redemption 2 took, I know a lot of people just sit here and say, oh, it's Grand Theft Auto set in the Wild West. That isn't the case. While it does share some similar features to Grand Theft Auto 5, and it has that Grand Theft Auto tone to it, and some things are similar. That's the case because it's the same developers almost, same company, so their games are going to have similarities. Skyrim and Fallout, even though they're completely different games, they're quite similar in how they're played and how things are in the game. But you can sit there and make all the differences list by list, bit by bit. And I don't think I'm going to say, Red Dead Redemption 2 is much better than Grand Theft Auto 5. It's a different game. Grand Theft Auto 5, one of the things that I will say is that the game is based on, like a city and stuff, and everything feels quite contained. Whereas Red Dead Redemption has a much more, it's set in the Wild West, so the world is different, how people act are different, and the game takes you on a really sort of historic look, life that we can't, physically go and do these days. Grand Theft Auto, you can go and visit this city, whereas the Wild West is a much better place for a setting in a video game because it's not something that we can go and experience to the full extent. But I will say this about Red Dead Redemption: the graphics are fucking amazing. There's not many games that really I go, this game has amazing graphics, and I look at everything in the distance and I sort of take note of all the details. But Red Dead Redemption has really given me a new outlook on video games because I'm there on my horse, going through the big, open fields, and then in the distance you can see all the buildings in the distance, the trees, the skyline, and every intricate little detail. It's done so well, and the characters look amazing. Again, I'm not getting the best looking experience because I should be playing this game on an Xbox One X with a 4K TV, and I assure you, if I did that, I can assure you that if I did that, the game would look even better. But it doesn't look terrible, is what I'm saying. It is a beautiful game. Even if you play it on the PlayStation 4 or the PlayStation 4 Pro, you're going to get a very good looking game. And I hate seeing all these things on the internet. Oh, here's the Xbox One version, blah, 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 really good looking game. And then the PS4 Pro version is like a stick man and shit like that. That is just stupid. PlayStation 4 looks fantastic and looks amazing, as well as Xbox One. The differences can be seen if you put them side by side, but if you're a normal person who don't really care about that, you aren't going to be very disappointed with the graphics. And the sounds, again, the voice acting is beautiful. It's so well done. There's so many. The Wild West is one of these things where people overact, in the movies and stuff and the TV shows. Sometimes they overact and they seem like they're trying too hard to be a cowboy. Whereas in Red Dead Redemption 2, the voice acting feels very, I won't say casual, but very realistic. The characters sound like more like what they probably would have sounded like than if you were to watch a John Wayne movie or something like that. And the music, again, the music has that really good sort of Western, spaghetti Western style music. Reminds me of things like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, or the, Clint Eastwood classics. And again, the John Wayne stuff and stuff like that. And I really am enjoying it. Now, one of the things that I really do like about the game is the detail. Now, when I sit here and say that, video games have these open worlds and nobody really interacts with you unless you do something to them. In Grand Theft Auto, if you go around killing people, the worst that's going to happen is you're going to get the police on you or you'll get arrested or die. In this game, doing things, again, it's set in the Wild West, so the law is a lot different. But what I'm trying to say is that if you do something in the game, it will affect an outcome later on. People interact with you, people look at you, and if your character's dirty, they'll go, you know what, well, you need a bath and all this stuff. Just tiny little details like that. You have to keep your horse clean. You have to look after your camp. You have to build your camp. You have to do missions for your camp. You have to, you get the Robin experience. You can be a horrible person. You can be a good person. You can hunt. You can, entertain yourself. And coming off of a game like Yakuza, where it's got a lot of entertainment things and mini games and stuff, I can appreciate a game that offers more than just a story and your basic game. And that's what I really love about Red Dead Redemption, is it feels like so immersive. And one of my favourite things about the game, and I know this seems stupid, but when you go into the shop, you can go to this the counter and buy your weapons or your ammo or your guns and your food and your drink and medicines from the catalogue. But what's really cool is you can actually go up to the shelves and pull the items off one by one and interact with them. And that is really cool, because that doesn't really happen in video games. Normally a video game, I know a lot of people say, but it's convenient, you've got a list of stuff and then you click what you want to buy. But just the fact that they put something like that in the game just goes to show that Red Dead Redemption is a realistic game. I'm not going to, skim past the obvious here. It's a very realistic game. It has a good physics engine, in terms of how, GTA 5 had a similar thing, like when you fall over and you roll, and if you hit something and stuff like that. And I really like that. It's a realistic game, but it doesn't feel like a simulator. Problem is with all these simulator games and these realistic games, like these tactical shooters and stuff, is that I can get easily bored by playing them, because I don't feel like I'm playing a video game. I feel like I'm, it is a video game, but I prefer my arcadey experiences to things that, aren't realistic and stuff like that. But Red Dead Redemption, to me, has just shown me a new a way of looking at it, and it doesn't, while it is extremely realistic, it feels more natural than it does simulator. It feels like you're still playing a video game, but because of how natural everything is and how you work in the video game and how you do things and how they interact, you can do little things like chores, you can sit down. When you're crafting, you actually see your character do the crafting bit by bit. And I just find that to be really interesting and really well done. I think it is one of the best features of the game. It's just the tiny little details, and Rockstar didn't skimp out on actually making all the details. Like when you skin the animal, and the first time when you skinned an animal, you just got you saw Marston take his knife out, go like that, and blood would come up on the screen. In this game, you actually see Arthur Morgan go down and literally pull the skin off. You have to throw it on your horse. The way you can only carry one weapon on you. You have to take your items off the horse. When you get into fights, you can take people's hats, drink. I could sit here and tell you every little detail in this game, and I still haven't found them all. Now, another thing that has actually really intrigued me about this game is the exploration. Now, exploration in video games, while a lot of people do like that, I do too, but I don't really do it much. But Grand Theft Auto, again, was another game where you can explore and go and find all these little weird things. Red Dead Redemption has done that as well. I found some really weird stuff in Red Dead Redemption, and probably the weirdest one was I found this cabin, this old abandoned cabin, and had a bunch of dead people in there, and had skull candles, and it was really weird. So you know what I did? I went and captured some guy, brought him back there, and murdered him in the cabin, as you do. Please don't take that too seriously. It's a video game. Get over it. And that's what I love about Red Dead Redemption. It's just exploring. You go, wow, that is there. Wow, that is amazing. Oh my god, that's creepy. I found some really creepy stuff in the game, and I know that I haven't found everything. The wildlife is beautiful. It seems natural. The colour in the game is amazing. One of the issues that I have with the first Red Dead Redemption, yes, it's set in the Wild West, I know, but there's a lot of dryness to the game. It looks really dry. Everything's sand or dirt, whereas in this game, in this game, the colour has really changed. You've got muddy areas, you've got snow, you've got green areas, you have the dry areas, and it just looks and feels so natural. It looks beautiful, and it's so gorgeous to explore. And when I play this game, I get so immersed in it because it's realistic. So it feels like, I'm inside the video game kind of thing, involved, concentrated, and I'm playing the game and I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is a video game. Red Dead Redemption 2 has shown that you can make a game that's really realistic, but also an awesome video game. Something that's really realistic and people go, just wow. Now, I know a lot of people are, but video games should be about, being, for fuck's sake. Yeah, I've probably got to get demonetized for the fuck's sake. I'm joking. Now, video games can be really realistic, but don't feel like a video game, as I said. And people are, but if a game, some things in video games should just be more like a video game. Like when you cut someone 10 times, they should die, rather than, they should die with one shot. And it's like, I do agree, but at the same time, Red Dead Redemption 2 is just gone, you know what, we're making a realistic game here. We're making a game that people are going to enjoy. We put the time into it. And the multiplayer, when the multiplayer comes out, I can't wait to play the online. And hopefully, and I'm really, really hoping, one of the biggest complaints I have with Grand Theft Auto Online, even though the game has so much content now, and you can do all this really cool stuff, it seems like when I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, I want to do a mission and, you're always getting killed by random people. There doesn't seem any you can get the bounties and things, but at the same time, it just feels, I play the game and then within an hour, I'm like, what's the point playing? I'm hoping Red Dead Redemption 2 Online is going to improve the multiplayer, make it more fair, make it so for example, if someone was to go around killing, no doubt they'll carry on the bounty hunter system from Grand Theft Auto 5, but at the same time, the game should really punish people like that. And yes, it's the freedom of doing what you want, and that's what I love about Red Dead Redemption, even though you're a bad guy, and yeah, the story is a prequel, and you're basically on the run from the law again, and I like that you're playing as a group of people who are just trying to get away from the police as fugitives, rather than playing as an ex-fugitive or something like that, an ex-gang member, and I do like that, and I really, really do like the cast of characters. And everyone feels like they belong in the game. There's not really a character that you go, you don't belong in the game. Even strangers, you can interact with people, and you can always get these different outcomes. There's so much voice lines in the game, and I think what I was trying to say is that, sorry, I got a bit off track there, but the multiplayer, I'm hoping that they sort of put in an actual countermeasure to that. Yes, you can play the game in passive, but the problem is with playing in passive is that you can't really use your weapon. So maybe they could change the passive mode for players who want to go around and hunt gangs and stuff, but like turn off the PvP mode. So maybe have some dedicated servers to players that can't. So basically have a PvE server where it's players versus environment, so players can't hurt other players, so like friendly fire or player, so like basically, what I'm trying to say is they should have the PvP server, the one where you can kill other players, but they should also have a player versus environment server where you can just play the game against the AI, against the computer, against the environment, and not have to worry about constantly being gunned down by random people online who just want to gun you down. Again, if that's what you do online, fair enough, but at the same time, it's a bit unfair to people who just want to play the game, play the online, and do co-op missions and actually grind out and, you know, experience the multiplayer, and they're just getting gunned down every 5 minutes. It's a bit, and I think that's what they should do. Anyway, this video has gone on for long enough. Red Dead Redemption, guys, this has sort of been my first thoughts. I'm not going to really give a review just yet. I think when I finish the game, I'll do a proper in-depth review and try and script it out and write some things down so I don't forget anything. But it's been a pleasure so far. I'm only about, say, maybe about 4 hours into the main story. And it's like The Witcher 3, you know, everything in the game. It's like, oh, I'm doing a story now, and then, oh, here's a side quest, and now I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and you can really lose track of what you're doing and just have a really good time. Like I said, I was going around just hog tying strangers with my lasso, bringing them back to this weird cabin and murdering them, and the game doesn't punish you for doing that. Yeah, if you get seen, you get wanted and stuff, but at the same time, the freedom of choice in the game is to be played at your own pace. Yeah, the first few hours you have to, you know, work with your gang and, you know, do the set story missions. But once you get past sort of like the tutorial stage, you have the freedom to do what you want. And again, the world opens up more as you continue the story, as it should, but it doesn't stop you going anywhere. You can go anywhere you want in the game once you reach the first campsite. But I think, yeah, there's a place you can't go to because you're wanted dead or alive, and obviously you'll be able to explore that place later on in the game. But it doesn't stop you from going and exploring straight away if you're not someone who just wants to go straight into the story. You want to take your time with it and see what the game has to offer. It's such a good game. It does punish you in the right ways. I can't really complain too much about anything. I can understand why some people might be turned off by the realism, but let me assure you, it's the realism that you want in a video game. This game feels like it could have been on the Xbox 2 and the PlayStation 5. It's that good. Rockstar, you deserve this. And on my first impressions, I normally don't do ratings on first impressions, but this gets a 10 out of 10. A perfect score, guys. I know that seemed like, oh, I'm just on the hype train, but let me assure you, I'm playing the game on my own terms. I'm not listening to what other people are doing. I'm doing it on my own terms. I'm not watching people doing playthroughs. I'm taking it at my time, having my own opinions on the game, not listening to what other people are saying. These are what I think the game is why it's so perfect. And definitely check it out if you want to play something truly special. And it should be treated as delicate as a baby. And anyway, guys, if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to leave a like. And of course, comment below. Sorry about the dark lighting. Let me know, are you playing Red Dead Redemption 2? If so, how are you getting on with it? And do you think this game deserves a Game of the Year? Because I do. Even though it came out quite late in the year, it's fucking amazing. And that's not to say, I think, to be honest, you know what? For me, I think the year's done with video games. Yes, there's going to be more games coming out between now and next year, but for me, Red Dead Redemption 2 was the last proper game that I think is going to be a proper contender for Game of the Year. And the last game that I'm really, really excited to get and want to get day one. And I don't think there's going to be any other games coming out this year that I really, really need. I would like the Spyro game, but at the same time, I'm not overly bothered if I don't get it straight away. Other than that, let me know. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the family. And of course, as always, have a nice day. Okay. And I'll see you in the next video. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but I'm sure we can find something. And anyway, guys, take care. And go and drink. Here's 50 cents. Go and have a beer down at the saloon. Take care. Howdy now.